In this demonstration, I would demonstrate how to cut the patterns using a rotary cutter and the cutting mat. I've tested out the stretch in my Duoplex. It's basically a very stable fabric, but I believe this direction is stretching more the way I've laid out. So I'm going to place my paper pattern having the arrows in line with that stretch. Since we're cutting these paper patterns out from our Duoplex fabric, and Duoplex is actually a knit fabric, I would not be using pins to hold my paper patterns down. You could choose to use paper weights to weigh them down, or simply hold on to the paper pattern while you cut with the rotary cutter. Since I've been cutting on one layer of the Duoplex, now I have to repeat and cut a second set for the cups as well as the outer cradle for the other side of the bra. When you do that, please make sure you flip your paper patterns around before you cut. So this was the last piece to be cut. Just now I was doing some rough cuts on some other pieces. I actually didn't cut on all edges, so now I'm going to go back and check that all my pieces are cut correctly. Now I'm going to lay out my pieces from the Duoplex fabric and make sure that I have all the pattern pieces that I need. So I should have 2 power bars, 2 upper cups, 2 lower cups, 2 outer cradle, and 1 bridge. Before I continue, I'd like to make an indication of the notches, and I'm going to use my erasable marker for that. So I'm going to start with these pieces first. I'm going to zoom in to show you how it's done. So I have already notched. Just going to place it on my fabric. Make an indication on the fabric. I like to also kind of give myself a little note that is actually center front facing. And I would mark all the notches I see on all the pattern pieces. And again, for the lower cup, I would also like to indicate where the center front is. So I've done the notches on this side of the pattern. Now I'm going to flip the pattern and make sure I made a corresponding notch for the other side of my bra. I would like to indicate the center front as well in this case for the cups. And that's it. We've finished cutting all the pattern pieces from the Duoplex. I'll proceed to cut the back band from the power net. The last thing we need to cut would be the back band out from the power net. So this is the power net. Take a look at the structure. I have my triangle's length lining up this direction. So I'm gonna place my paper pattern this way. Again, I'm going to use the rotary cutter to cut. So I'm going to cut on a single layer, and I'm going to cut twice to get both left and right. Remember, when you cut the second piece, please flip your paper pattern over. So here you will see all the pattern pieces being cut out, and now we're ready to sew.